What's going on, TikTok? Someone's for the likes. Welcome back. Oh, that's poking out. How is everyone going? Hello everybody, welcome. Doing a little bit of work on the chameleon art doll today. So if anybody is new here, I make fake taxidermy pieces. And I'm currently working on a chameleon. So here's our little chameleon. Have a little look at it. This little one is a medieval cat, complete with bum. So the joke is the legs and the butthole. So that's the joke for this particular medieval cat. And obviously no neck, so everything's pushed up. Yeah, I made 3 of them, different ones, all with their own individual little lol factor. So yeah, normally I just make like fake taxidermy pieces. Sometimes fantasy stuff, just depends. I've been doing this for about 13 years now, so a while. This year's getting weird, making a whole bunch of weird dolls. So sort of trying to branch out and put a little bit of my humour into the dolls. Hence the medieval cats. But yeah, just trying to make it fun. Getting caught in the toe. Alright, so I'm basically up to sewing the body for this one. It is going to be airbrushed, so it matches the colour of the face. But yeah, I'm using it's like a cotton sort of fabric. That's like a heat sensitive fabric, but it doesn't really work the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to have to airbrush it. But in the meantime, it's fine for using it as skin. I'm going to do a whole bunch of scale work on it as well, so that's going to be nice and time consuming. But yeah, I make a whole range of different types of dolls, each with different sort of funny characteristics, like that one. But yeah, you know, DeLive seems to like that. It's a bit of a hit and miss joke. Those. Some people don't like it, some people do. So I'm going to do a whole new series of cats. Hey, there's no butt, it's the face. It's the face today, come on. Unless you got like that tiny little snippet of it. It's just showing people my creativity. Mixed emotions with that one, let's say. I mean, it brought you back. Alright, so the timing. It was literally just a little flip. It's funny because yesterday I did a bit of an experiment where I had it around this way, right? Nothing. No, not much traction at all. But then I flipped it over and it started pushing the live out again. So I don't know. Is it what people want to see? There were some unhappy people though. Thanks for the likes. I'm just going to put it down to not cat people. Not cat people don't get the jokes. But anyway. I made a pug for someone a couple of months ago. And we all know what pugs are like. Their bite hole is out there, right? I thought I should put one on there, but I didn't. They're just not as funny. Up in there. Thanks for the likes. Much appreciated. Bruh. That's all I can think of when I read your name. Bruh. Stitch is being cheeky. See? Nothing. Do I need to turn it around again? What's going on YouTube? Does it need to be turned around again? Is that what people want to see? Oh, this tail's getting in the way. Just playing. How is everybody? So I'm using a ladder stitch to sew this fabric up. Why is it looking at me? Well, you know, it's a medieval cat, so it's a weird looking cat, right? So the joke is the legs and the butthole, nice and close. So it's a joke, you know. No, they're fake taxidermy, so it's all no animal products used. So I basically sculpt the head. So this is the lion that I'm working on out of polymer clay. Attach the armature. Use polyfill. I use fake fur. This one's like a cotton fabric. So it just depends what I use, but it's all fake. It's like cute, the butthole or the cat, or both. No, I don't use any animal products. It's the fun part is to make it as realistic as possible. I'm not into taxidermy myself, so I don't really like the idea of playing around with organs and stuff. So yeah, just make fake versions of it. So I reckon I can make it as close as possible with no animal products used. Both. So you get it. But it's got a little stank face, so it's got a mad side eye, but I can't get it on this camera, on this lighting. But it's got a pretty good side eye. She. Name's Madame Tippy Toes. Yeah, it's not real. It's cute though. Thanks for the follow, Faith. Much appreciated. And the likes, thank you. How do Aussies have Vegemite? You get a piece of toast, your bread, toast it. Depending on how you like your toast, I like it slightly golden. Slather it in butter. So it has to be proper butter. Let that melt. And then just do like a tiny bit of Vegemite. Not much. Just a little bit of Vegemite. So you can't slather Vegemite on. It's awful. But it has to have a lot of butter. That's the key. And I like it when the butter's melted. No, just like butter. Not peanut butter. That'll be disgusting. Just like proper butter. I know Americans have like weird pretend butters and pretend milks. Creamer. Like, what's creamer? I've legit only just found out what creamer is, and it does not sound great at all. What are you guys doing over there? But yeah, don't put a lot on. That's awful. Even I don't like that. But it's delicious when you get it the right way. I always want to make my own butter. I don't know how. I'm sure I can Google it, but all the time, really. Got weird dolls to make. Still waiting to hear back from that Oddities the Oddities Expo. I just want to know so I can start preparing, even though it's in November. Alright. You see it's sort of starting to take shape, and these legs are really thin, so it's a bit tricky to get it the right size. The stitch has to be quite small. You can see the ladder stitch closes it up quite well. I'm not too worried about this part here because I'm going to be covering it in scales, so hopefully it turns out okay. I mean, you can't avoid the seam lines when you're working with thin fabric like this. It's just inevitable really. But you thought the cat was real? No, it's a nice little kitty. It's good that even though I've made this a weird looking cat, so no, everything's fake. Hey, thanks for the like, Rubes. Just made out of polymer clay. So that's the joke, is the legs, the butthole, but mostly the legs. But it's a pretty cute kitty, nice petite one. The poor fingers had a bit of a rough time. Probably should actually put a band-aid on this. From the amount of sewing I've been doing lately, I'm starting to get a little callus on there. It's starting to hurt a little bit. But that's what you do for the craft. Sacrifice. Sacrifice the fingertips. It's quite fast to sew this rather than sewing things with a long pile, because it sort of gets tangled up, and this one doesn't really knot all that easily because it doesn't get tangled up. So we can do kind of a power sew. Should I do an experiment to see who comes in if I turn the cat around? Just to, you know, prove a point. Thanks for the likes. So I'm currently working on the chameleon here. So I'm just sewing up one of the legs. I've sewn up these two legs. I've got the rest of this one, that one, and a tail to do. So we're getting there. Thanks so much. You thought the cat was real? Nope, it's all fake. It's a medieval cat, so it's a little weird looking. Not quite. Still going. Got 2 more legs to sew and a tail. But almost getting the sewing done, but I think the scale work's going to take a while. We'll see how it goes. I haven't quite settled on a technique that I'm happy with, but we're getting there. Little fingers getting a bit sore. I'll leave the butthole off the chameleon. I'll spare everybody that detail. Thanks for the likes. Hopefully the colour transfers well on this. Should be good. Pick it up a bit closer. There. Everybody can see the head of the chameleon. Yeah, it's just a little example. I was using it. People on TikTok were getting kind of upset with the butthole. So I was using it as a little bit of clickbait, you know, because TikTok seems to push it rather than when I have it facing the camera. So people like it the other way. Like, but don't like. I don't know. But I don't want to be too weird and just have that on there all the time. Okay. Looking good. So not too concerned about wrinkling along there. Just standing there. Okay, now it's going to tie it off when I get to the end. See, it's awfully quiet on TikTok now. Do I use the bait? Do I use the clickbait? Pull out the big guns. Tie this off. Just when I said it, I get many knots. Knot. There we go. All right, so going to connect that bit all the way around. So it's wrapped around the armature. Oh man, it went all the way around. So I'm going to try and sort of connect that seam line so it's kind of looks like it's one seam rather than bits and pieces. So just wanting to pull that over. And sort of tie that. Eesh, my poor fingy. So I've pretty much finished the demo, guys. I let it dry overnight. I just have to do like a little QA check on it to make sure everything's looking good. And then that should be ready to go home. I did a little video of the eyes, how the LEDs light up. So that's looking pretty good. Hope the customer is happy with that one. Hey, thanks for the follow, Charlie Bear. Welcome to the weirdness. What's my favourite species of animal? Cats. I do enjoy doing the big cats. Hence the reason why I've done so many. I like making wolves as well. It's always really fun. Yeah, probably big cats. I like making the little cats too. So I think I'm going to enjoy doing the Action Cat series because, you know, the expressions are a little bit different. So I feel like I want to sculpt animals with like different expressions rather than your stock standard regular expression. So that's why with the lions that I'm doing them kind of a little bit different than my other big cats, apart from the cougar. The cougar I did like a snarling face on it. But yeah, the lions, this one's a little bit more sassy than what I was going for. But the female, the lioness, is going to be pretty spicy. So it's always good to challenge myself and do some, different expressions, all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So yeah. Can't go wrong with big cats. tension here just to close this seam up. All right. Oh, thank you. It's definitely taken a number of years to get, comfortable with my sculpting skills. I'm definitely not comfortable with sculpting people, so it's just not my forte. Thanks for the follow. But yeah, animals, I think I'm at that stage where I like to sort of challenge myself now. So, I've sort of sculpted my whole life, but I've always made sort of dragons a lot since I was a kid. So, see, this live is not doing anything. So what if I did this? Well, I've sort of neglected a lot of reptiles though, so that's why I did the snake and I'm doing this chameleon. So and also marine animals. I've really neglected marine animals too, so that's why I sort of made the leopard seal, just to sort of challenge myself a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to put some humour into my dolls too, so just taking a different approach this year. Got a lot of experimenting to do with things as well, so yeah, I still sort of haven't come up with a thing that I'm happy with to do the scale work, like a method, technique. So this whole chameleon is just like a big experiment to see. I think it's working all right. I don't know. I want to do more snakes, but I'm sort of stuck on doing some realistic snake skin. I'm not quite sure just yet how I'm going to go about that. I've got a couple of theories that I want to test, but you can get like fake snakeskin vinyl, but it's really thick, and I think it's going to affect the posability a bit too much. So unless it's like a really thin vinyl, I've got like a fake crocodile skin vinyl, but it's a bit too thick to, have a small doll posable. So it's like back to the drawing board. Back to the old drawing board, as Wile E. Coyote would say. But I've been wanting to do a secretary bird for a while, which that's a really challenging doll to make. Just the structure of the doll and the feather work, because I'm not completely satisfied with my feather work. So there's a couple of techniques I want to try, which I'm just going to have to try a couple of different fabrics to play around with and see if I can get feathers looking like actual feathers. So wings are definitely a tricky part of it. I think like dragon wings and bat wings are a lot easier, but when it's got feather work on it, it can be quite tricky. But yeah. Okay, tuck that in, make it nice and neat. Coming up to the last little bit here. I like to sort of start experimenting with like megafauna, maybe dinosaurs. But yeah, megafauna I really like to start doing as well. I've been wanting to make a saber-toothed cat for so long. Hence the big cat. Of course. The whole big cat thing. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. One more leg. I'll have to glue all this together. For the tail's a little bit of a tricky one because the end of it is so thin, I can't get an armature in there. So I think what I'm going to do is sew the tail to have a curl at the end. I'm not a great seamstress, so we'll see how we go with that. Yeah, not the best seamstress in the world, so I think it's essentially just a tube that I'm going to sew around and then sew it onto the armature that I've got there. We'll see. We'll see how we go. All right, just going to tie this off. See, I mean, the seam line, it's as neat as I can get it, you know, as neat as I can get it, and try and sort of cover it a little bit with the scale work. So I definitely want a texture in the scale work because they're quite textured, these little chameleons. Okay, so I've got 3 legs done. It's looking pretty good. I'd like a little knee here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Normally I put a piece of polyfill in there. It's looking pretty good. Oh, thanks, Viana. So I think it's looking pretty good so far. So could do a little stitch. Should be alright. It needs to have a little bit of flexibility so I can still maintain the posability of the legs. Okay. And I'll have to sew a little sort of a ridge up here as well. So I need to pull that in a bit. Alright, so I think I'm going to do the airbrushing for the sea lion commission off the live, just because I think it's going to take a little bit of a long time to do. So I feel like I can't quite charge enough for the amount of work that goes into this chameleon. So this off here. It's too much. Scooter riding. Alright, so I want this. Put a little bit of glue back down. Come down. Come on. Now, oh, my poor finger. I feel like I'm going to get a, there's already the callus there, but I think I might get a, it was once with the African wild dog, I actually got a really bad blister from the sewing because the fur work was really sewing intensive. So I got a really huge blister on my finger and it was very sore. Wondering if I should go grab a Band-Aid because I've still got a bit of sewing to do just to cover my finger. Totally missed that one. So I use like a material Band-Aid just to cover my fingertip. And oh man, lost the thread again. Yeah, it helps just like stop the blister. So give me a second. I'm going to go get a Band-Aid and put it on my finger. All right, got the goods. What is that? That is a pretend cat. Cat butt. It's a medieval cat. It's actually quite cute. But you know, the lives attracts the people in the lives, so it's what people want, apparently. Alright, so I've got like a little material Band-Aid here, if I can get the bloody part thing off. I don't know what everyone else calls Band-Aids, but plaster strip. Oh my god, I can't take the back off it. Get off. So I've tried a thimble before, but I don't like the thimble. I can't feel things, so I find using this material Band-Aid works really well. So just sort of gives you a little bit of support from the needle, and I can still feel. Okay, let's see how this goes. What am I doing here? What's going on? So lost. Okay. Yeah, so see, like when I pull it, it sort of stops, like a direct skin contact. I mean, I probably should have put it on a couple of days ago before I started getting blister pain. Oh man, what a knot. Not a knot. Someone's whippersnipping outside too, or chainsawing. Always at this time. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to have to go over these claws as well. I think I might go over it with my fabric glue and just sort of refine them a bit better, because I'm not happy with the way they are at the moment, of course. It's usually the case. So I like to make things durable, so there's like a happy medium between details and durability. Keeps getting caught on the foot, which is kind of frustrating. Get out. All right. Now, just keep wrapping around these damn things. Frustrating. Okay. Clickbait's not working today. Maybe you want the cute kitty today. Cute kitty face. Open the door. Hello, everybody. Let's take this pin out. If I can get it. There we go. Okay. So I've almost finished. I finished one commission, so that's great. I have to take some photos. I'm actually going to do a little stop motion of this one this time. Hopefully I've got a big enough space because it's a huge doll. We'll see how we go. I don't really know what a demiguise does. Hey, Marmalade Moss, how are you? Returned for some weirdness. It's going good. I've sort of finished. I finished the demiguise commission, so that's good. I've got to do like a little QA check on it to make sure everything's fine. All the stitching's good. There's no like loose ends or anything. So I've got to take some photos of that and send it off. I think it's going to the States. So hopefully I don't get like slapped with a tariff or anything. And the Stella Sea Lion, I've got just the airbrushing to do, so that's going to be done. So yeah, I can start working on all the projects that I got sitting and waiting. Got to finish this chameleon now. So I think I'll do the airbrushing off the live just because I think it's such a big doll and I can't quite get it all in frame, and it's a lot of airbrushing work on it as well. So all you can really hear is like the compressor, so I don't think it'll make for an exciting live. So, but I'll finish it this week though. No problems, so they'll both be done. I can start doing a bit more sculpting as well. So, what's going on here? I can finish sculpting my female lion. I'm going to do the paws. So I'm going to do 8 different paws. And then, maybe even start sculpting parts for the Action Cat series. So there'll be 3 dolls with that one. So I'm thinking one should have a movable jaw, like a yawning, I think. But we'll see. I'm kind of looking forward to sculpting the inside of a cat's mouth. I think there's a lot of little details and stuff in there. No problem. Catch you later. But yeah, lots of sculpting to come once I finish this chameleon. So there'll be a few more little sculpting, I guess you could call them tutorial videos. Mostly big cats. Mostly cats. I'm trying to think of what other animal to make, but I need to know about this Oddities Expo too, so I can start preparing for it if I get a spot. So, we'll see. So I want to do like a couple of little things as well. So it's not all just art dolls. So I need to do some skull sculpting, which I've only done one, which was a deer skull, and I did enjoy that. So I want to sort of venture out into different things. different types of skulls. Even though I'm not really into skulls, I just enjoyed sculpting that. So I got like little glass domes to put the skulls in. But I wasn't sure if I was going to decorate the inside of it or not with like flowers or something, but I don't know, like a flower bed, which I could also sculpt. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens when I start sculpting it. I like to just go with the flow. Most of the time. Would I cast them? Probably not. I think casting the skulls, it's a really difficult mold, and I don't have a pressure pot set up to get the air bubbles out, so it's probably not. I actually stopped doing a lot of my resin casting things. I used to do that just primarily that. It's like super expensive and it's messy, and the silicon's like for a single mold, it cost me like $150 to make the mold itself, and then I have to buy the resin. So the resin will cost about $40 to do a resin cast itself. So we're looking at, almost $200 to do a mold and cast of one. Obviously, you can use the mold over and over, but yeah, it's just like super messy and time consuming. And I like sculpting things with my hands. That's sort of why, another reason why I stopped resin casting. But I still have some of my older molds, which yeah, I can still use. But yeah, probably just sell the originals. What's happened to my music? I'll take this pin out. Okay. But yeah, I was thinking of like maybe I could sculpt some flowers out of polymer clay to put in the little domes. So the skulls have like a nice little decorative thing around them. I don't know that I'm going to fit a deer skull in the domes because the domes are, that big, and I think the antlers are going to be a problem. But yeah, I've got thinking of doing a cat, a fox, maybe a wolf. Other than that, I'm not too sure what else to do. I don't know what people are into. I did want to do the stag, but I don't think they're going to fit in the dome. Unless I can find like a big dome somewhere. I don't know. All right, I'm almost finished sewing this bit here. But yeah, the skull for my Halloween doll was really fun to sculpt. Tedious, lots of little fiddly bits, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. All right. So I don't often get to sculpt flowers and stuff, so it'd be a nice little change. It was funny, I went to Kmart, which is like I don't know, Nick bits and pieces store for crap. Is the best way to describe it. Household stuff and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there was a woman there who was standing in the art section looking at some like air dry clay craft stuff. And she turns to me and she's like, I want to buy it, but I don't know how to sculpt. And I'm like, funnily enough, I'm a sculptor. Live Love came up. Well, she wanted to buy, the little air dry clay crafts. One of them was like a flower thing, another one was a tiger thing. I'm like, just do it. It's $10. Just do it. Have a crack. And I said, funnily enough, I'm a sculptor, and I hang on. M. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I told her how to make flowers, and she's like, oh, do you live locally? But yeah, I think that was pretty funny. I had a chat to her for a while. Just gave her some tips. So I think that was just really funny. So she ended up buying them. Thanks for the likes. So I hope she goes well with flower making. I didn't buy anything from Kmart though. I couldn't find what I was looking for. But they look like fun little crafts. Maybe I could get that little flower kit. Air dry clay. I'm pretty sure it's the air dry clay you can get off AliExpress, and I've used it quite a few times actually. It's not bad. Just for certain things, I wouldn't use it for something that needs to be stable or needs to be a bit solid. But yeah, I've used it for things like horns and a dragon that I made. I used it for. I did like a little like the horns and the spines in the back. But yeah. Maybe I could choose like a type of flower for each little dome, like a theme. I don't know. I don't normally make things like that, so it's all sort of an experiment, just like everything these days. Just like everything I do these days. But yeah, I don't know what skulls people are into. I know cats. I didn't want to do dogs. I feel like that's a bit obvious. Keep pulling the thread out of here. Maybe I just do like a couple of different cats. Couple of cats, couple of foxes. I don't know that people are into bird skulls. You're proud. See? That's all I see. Crow skulls? Do you reckon people are into crow skulls? Thanks for the follow. I don't know what sort of flower I'd do with that. Maybe I could do like black flowers. I know pansies are black tulips. Is that too obvious? Maybe black and red for a bit of colour. Some roses. Cats you could do like, I don't know, daisies or something. I don't know. To Google like a nice bouquet. You could do like like weird flowers, like a bird of paradise. Corpse flower. That would be an interesting one. Wisteria. I think a wisteria would be really nice. I really like wisterias. Ferns are nice too, even though they're not flowers, but so many options. Probably end up doing it anyway, even if I don't get a vendor spot, but might take a bit longer. Bread. I don't know how I'd package them. Just give them to people to take off, wander off into the sunset with his big doll. All right, so just going to finish, tie this off. My poor little finger is sore. Bubble wrap, yeah. I know I've seen, I've done one convention before. I just put them in paper bags and that was fine. But, some of my dolls have little intricate parts in it. So probably would have to do a little bit bubble wrap. But I've just seen people walking off with whatever they can grab there in TikTok videos. So I did a convention, a supernova convention, 6 years ago, I think it was. Wrong type of demographic, but it was an interesting experience. I think the demographic was just a bit too young. Whereas this one, I think people are going there knowing things are expensive. So, yeah. Okay, that is that leg done. And all I have left is the tail. It's exciting. So let's see how these leggies look. Very cute. Very cute. Now the tail. We've got a piece of fabric. Oop. What's oop? Oopy doop. Oop. Oop. Looking good. I think the last bit I'll do is the stitch up here. So I've got a piece of fabric for the tail. And what I'm going to do, it's a bit tricky, but I'm wanting to, how long is this tail? So if I sew it here, about here. Now. I want this bit thin. So thanks so much for sharing. I think that's what brings the viewers in, right? Sharing. All right, so I'm going to cut. Chop, chop. Chop. Chippity choppity chew. A mouse ran up the shoe. Be silly. Now, going to start off with a stitch here. There's not a lot of thread, but whatever. And I'm just going to do like a permanent curl with this tail because I can't get my armature in there to make it posable, so I'm just going to have to do a permanent curl. All right. So a little bit of a tricky stitch here. It's always hard to get it into the right spot. Now, because it's so thin, go this way. Yeah. I'll stick something in there to just round it out a little bit so I can separate it, be a bit easier. It's too thick. Something thinner. Aha. So, basically going to pretend to sew around the paintbrush just to give it a bit of boldness. And I think I'll add a little bit of glue to the end of this just to sort of round it a little bit. Away. Okay, so I'll get something a little thicker this time. A choppy stick. The tail's quite thin. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna record a little bit of this. Usually tails are pretty quick to sew. So, sorry. Where are we sitting? So it starts to gradually get thicker. Still quite thin. I just curl it over so I get the smooth end. It's starting to take shape now, so it's a little bit tricky to, get it started. Let me get it going over the wrong end. So I'm going to sew it up to about there, I think. And then I'll curl it over and sew it permanently. Sew it. Permanently. All right. Actually, I'll put that back in there because it was helping. All right. Let's start to make the stitch a little bit bigger. So it makes the tail a bit wider. I like making little dolls because the stitching's not such a huge task. Like it is, obviously, but making something like as big as a demiguise, like the stitch work and it's just a lot to handle. And at least, it's a smaller little section to sew, so it doesn't take as long. Right again. Idiot. There. Okay. Which way did we go? This way. So I will put stuffing in this, I think, just depending how thick the armature sits in there. Let's go around again. Sew up some of my finger too. stitch right. The problem with doing a ladder stitch on fabric this thin is you need to stitch it quite small, so the seam line is small, and you know, as best as you can get it. So sometimes it just takes a bit of patience. All right, getting there. That one. Again. Yeah, again. Oh my god. How is this even possible? All right. Yeah, what are we looking like here? Almost there. So I actually think it might be better to airbrush it first and then tie this around. I think that's probably a better idea, because then I can airbrush it properly and do the scale work properly on it. I can sort of access it a bit easier. I think I'll have a hard time getting in those curls. So I think I'll leave the curl, to do after the airbrushing. Okay, so take this out. So once I'm just going to finish sewing as much as I can here, and then I'll put it onto the tail to finish off, because sometimes it can get a bit tricky to get it on there with the armature, and it's thin. Oh man, I think I can get this one over. Yep, I've done it anyway. It's cactus. start widening it up a bit. Very quiet on the old lives. Maybe I'll turn that around and see what that brings for the last 15 or so minutes. See what happens there. Take the chopper out. So, put the tiniest bit of polyfill in there. What if something to this? Get off. So when I curled it over, I just made it a little bit flat. So I'm going to put tiniest little bit of polyfill in there. So it doesn't sit flat. Okay. Hey, what am I making? I make art dolls. So I'm doing a chameleon at the moment. So I'm doing a little tail piece. Just the last little bit. So I'm just putting some polyfill in there so when I curl it around, it doesn't sort of go flat. If that makes sense. So that little tail piece is going to curl around. as best as we can. Thank you. I make fake taxidermy pieces, really. So I haven't done too many reptiles in my time. So see, I'm just doing a couple of different things, to that are a bit humorous. Yeah. All right. That's looking swell. Now, this is going to sit. This needs to sit here. Probably. Oh, thank you. Been doing this for like 13 years, so it's a while. So I picked up a thing or two in my time. Okay, so we'll let that sit there. Like so. Just gonna pin that. Pin this down like that so it doesn't move. I'm sure I'll prick myself. This doesn't need to be here. And alright, start pinning things together. Oh, thanks. Ouch. Okay. Pin. And then still needs to be quite thin. Pin that. Not bad. No, I only get a few. I only get like an hour and a half these days. I've got a 2-year-old, so sort of do it while she's having a nap. So yeah, don't get much time these days. I wish I could do it all day, but nah, it's all good. Okay, so that's what the tail's going to look like. Oh, you're looking good. And then I'll curl this over. I try. Got to get it done. Get as much done as you can. I think that looked good. All right. When she's old enough, I can start recruiting her to do things as well. I can teach her how to sculpt things. Hopefully she likes sculpting. I have a bit more sculpting coming up in the next couple of lives as well, after I finish the chameleon and the sea lion commission. So I finished that one, which is not far off, obviously. Just got the airbrushing to do on that one. So I'll be sculpting the female lion, the lioness. It's a bit of a sassy attitude. Oh, thanks for the finger heart. Much appreciated. No problem. I do streams pretty regularly, so you'll find me around. Thank you. Okay. I have to get a new piece of thread anyway. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to give my finger a little bit of a break for today before I get a big blister. Alright, so I think we've got a bit of work done on that chameleon. Looking pretty good. So, okay, what I'm going to do actually is glue this while I've got this here. So I can stick overnight. Okay. glue. So this is just a tacky fabric glue. It holds fabric to clay pretty well. So I'm just going to put it in here. Now, it sort of sits. There. All right. Alright, so I'll leave that to dry overnight. It's calming. That's good. Alright, YouTube, I bid you farewell.